Hello. What do you see? The sea. Today we dive into water. Not literally, of course. We all drink water every day for our existence, right? Water is a vital part of our life. It's essential for drinking, agriculture, sanitation, and countless other aspects of our lives. Water covers more than 70% of our planet. You've seen water in various forms like seas, oceans, rivers, lakes, and ponds. But have you ever wondered how these were formed and why they are so different, even though they all contain the same essential element, water? The water cycle ensures that water is always in motion, sustaining life and shaping our environment. It involves processes like evaporation, where water turns into vapor and rises into the air due to heat from the sun, condensation, where it cools and forms clouds, and precipitation, where it falls back to the earth as rain or snow. We all know about rain as the source of water, right? But do you know that one of the sources of water formation is snow? We all love snow, right? But why do we not see it in all places? Snow forms when water vapor in the air cools and turns into ice crystals that clump together, falling as snowflakes. This is why we see snow in colder regions or during winter seasons in some parts of the world. For thousands of years, layers of snow get packed down and turn into ice. These ice layers combine and form glaciers. Glaciers are huge masses of ice found in very cold places like the North and South Poles or high up in mountains. But for glaciers to form, it's not just snow. Temperatures need to stay cold enough year-round to keep the ice from melting. Even events like the Ice Age, which was a long period of very cold weather, helped form many glaciers we see today. As glaciers slowly move, they carve out deep valleys and create piles of rocks and dirt called moraines. Fjords are long, narrow inlets of the sea between high cliffs, created by glaciers. When glaciers melt, they release fresh, clean water that flows into rivers and lakes. Rivers are formed from these melting glaciers or from natural rains. They travel long distances, carving out paths through the land and providing water for plants, animals, and people along the way. Rivers also carry important nutrients that help make the land fertile for farming. For instance, the Nile River is the longest river, stretching over 6,650 kilometers, and providing water to millions of people in Africa. Lakes are bodies of water surrounded by land. They can form in several ways. When glaciers leave behind large depressions that fill with water, when tectonic activities create basins, or when volcanic craters fill with water, which we saw in our previous video on volcanoes. Lakes are important sources of fresh water for drinking, farming, and recreation. Did you know the Caspian Sea, despite its name, is actually the largest lake in the world? Now let's talk about waterfalls. Waterfalls are formed when a river or stream flows over a steep drop or cliff. They are not only beautiful but also powerful, often used to generate hydroelectric power. When the water plunges down, it creates potential energy that can be converted into electricity. Some of the most famous waterfalls in the world, like Niagara Falls and Victoria Falls, attract millions of tourists and also serve as significant sources of renewable energy. Water flows from high places to low places because of gravity. Gravity makes water move downhill, which is why rivers flow from mountains to the sea. Flat areas have still water like ponds and lakes because there is no slope to make the water flow. Coming back to what we saw, the sea. Seas or oceans are vast bodies of salt water that cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface. They are formed by the collection of water in the Earth's basins, which are large depressions created by the movements of tectonic plates over millions of years. There are 5 oceans: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, Arctic. Seas are smaller than oceans and are usually located where the land and ocean meet, often partially enclosed by land. There are numerous seas around the world, such as the Mediterranean Sea, the Caribbean Sea, and the Bay of Bengal. Of all the water on Earth, about 97% is saltwater found in oceans and seas. Only about 3% is freshwater, which is found in glaciers, rivers, lakes, and underground. And why do we have tides in oceans and seas but not in other water bodies? Tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun on the Earth's oceans. This gravitational force causes the water to bulge out in the direction of the moon, creating high and low tides. These tides can also be used to generate electricity through tidal power stations. Man-made water bodies like reservoirs and dams play crucial roles in water management and power generation. Reservoirs store water for drinking, irrigation, and recreational activities. These man-made structures are often created to address the needs of growing populations, ensure a stable water supply, and mitigate the effects of droughts. Dams, on the other hand, harness the power of flowing water to generate hydroelectricity, which makes lights and TV work, providing a significant portion of the world's renewable energy. Renewable energy comes from natural sources that we can keep using without running out, like wind, water, and sunlight. These sources are always available and can be naturally replaced without polluting the environment. Water bodies have always been central to human civilization. Ancient civilizations often formed around rivers and lakes because they provided a steady supply of fresh water for drinking, farming, and transportation. Rivers like the Ganges, Yamuna, and Sarasvati in India supported some of the earliest human settlements, helping them to grow and thrive. The Ganges River, for example, is a perennial river, meaning it never dries up, providing a constant water supply that supports millions of people. Additionally, seas and oceans have been crucial for transportation and trade, enabling the movement of goods and people across great distances. Before we sign off, we want to tell you about an amazing new discovery deep in the ocean. Scientists found something called dark oxygen at the bottom of the sea. Normally, oxygen is made by plants and algae, but this oxygen is created by special rocks and minerals on the ocean floor. Here's how it works. Certain metals found in these rocks act like tiny batteries. When they touch seawater, they create a small electrical charge. This charge can split water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen, even in the dark. So, the rocks actually produce oxygen without needing sunlight. This shows us that oxygen can be made in ways we never imagined, even in the deepest parts of the ocean. From the vastness of the oceans to the serenity of a mountain lake, water bodies are interconnected, each playing a crucial role in maintaining the balance of nature. Thank you for joining us in exploring the wonders of water bodies. What do you think our next video will be about? Leave your guesses in the comments below, and stay tuned for our next video.